I had not eaten in a day and a half. I had eaten the last fig the night I left the Jordan, and a piece of dried fish I had taken in trade for splitting wood for a widow. And after that the fish was gone, and the woodpile had not led to another woodpile. I was at the edge of a small market on the road between two villages whose names did not matter. A half-dozen stalls, a man selling pomegranates from a basket, a woman with pickled fish, plus a small crowd watching a brother and sister argue about a tax payment. The argument was the reason I was there. A market with an argument has too many faces turned one direction. The rest goes briefly invisible. A man with quick hands and a stomach empty long enough can sometimes find what the visible market has carelessly set down beside its owner's heel. I had stolen 4 times for hunger and 3 times for sport. The sport thefts were the ones I lay awake about now in my old age. I was scanning. A leather strap caught my eye. A water skin hung from it, full across the shoulder of a man who had stopped to watch the argument. A full water skin in spring was worth a denarius to me. The brother laughed. I moved when the brother laughed. My fingers had just closed around the strap when a voice beside me said, "If you pull it that way, it spills before you run." I froze. The man had not turned his head. "Bad design," he said. I let go of the strap as if I had only been admiring its construction. I was moving it from the sun. "Then the water thanks you," quietly, I imagine. That should have been the moment to curse him, shove past, and disappear into the crowd. Instead, I looked at his face, which was a mistake. Men who catch you stealing usually want something from the catching. Anger, payment, shame, the pleasure of being righteous in public. This one looked almost amused, but not by me, more like he had found a fig growing out of season and was waiting to see whether the tree knew. "You thirsty?" he asked. "No." My throat chose that moment to close around dust and betray me. He lifted the skin, drank first, then held it out. That mattered. A man who drinks first is not handing you poison. A man who drinks first also makes it harder to pretend you are too proud. I took it. The water was warm. It tasted faintly of berries or old wine or whatever had lived in the skin before water. Men who own things never clean them as well as they believed. It was perfect. He watched me drink less than I wanted and more than I meant. "There," he said. "Now you have stolen honestly." I coughed. "That is not a thing. No." His mouth moved like it wanted to smile and had decided to make me work for it. "Then you have received badly. Also not better. It may become better if you live long enough." There was blessing shape in the words. "What do you want?" I asked. "From you?" "Men do not give water for nothing." "No," he said. "Usually they give it because someone is thirsty." A joke, I think it was. The sort that makes the listener feel foolish for having built a whole fortress around a door that was not locked. I wiped my mouth with the back of my hand and gave the skin back. "You should watch your things." I was. Only then did he turn fully toward me, not much, just enough. I had been seen before. By guards, creditors, women who knew I was lying. This was different. He did not look past the dirt to find someone clean underneath. He looked at the dirt too, as if even that belonged to the truth and did not frighten him. "The road is hard today," he said. "Road is hard every day. Then today is faithful." I almost laughed, almost. He reached into the small pouch at his side and brought out 2 dried figs. He pressed one into my palm without looking at me. He kept the other and tore it in half against his thumbnail, and ate one half in 2 bites the way a man eats when he has been walking since before dawn and remembers, only when food is in his hand, that he has not yet eaten. He put the other half back in the pouch. The fig in my own palm was small and brown and warm from the cloth and the inside of his hand. I could feel the 4 small ridges where his fingers had pressed it. "When was the last time," he said, still not looking at me, "you ate without it being a transaction?" I could not answer that. He chewed. "Eat the fig," he said. "It is not a transaction either. I have more." A man called his name from somewhere in the crowd. I did not catch it. The stranger lifted the water skin in answer and stepped away, already being claimed by other needs. He did not look back at me. He had not caught me to teach me a lesson. He had told me how it would have gone badly, handed me what I had been about to steal, and walked away. I did not know what to do with it. The brother and sister had stopped arguing. The sister stalked off toward the pickled fish. The brother bought a pomegranate he did not want. The market resumed. A man at the nearest stall, a baker, by the dust on his sleeves, was looking at me. He had seen. I sometimes forget this part when I tell the story. The baker had seen the whole thing. He had seen me reach for the strap. He had seen the stranger speak. He had seen the stranger drink first and pass the skin. He had seen me hand the skin back. He had not intervened. He had not called out. He had not shamed me to the market. I met his eyes. He nodded once. It was the smallest nod a working man can give. It said, I saw, I understood, I will not say. I have thought about that nod for 60 years. I walked out of the market. I walked east because the stranger had gone west. The truth, the part I will admit only now, was I did not want him to catch me again, not at stealing, at being seen. The water was still in my mouth. The strange part, the taste of it had not gone with the swallowing. It had stayed, berries or old wine or whatever had lived in the skin before water. I rolled my tongue against the back of my teeth and tasted it again and tasted it again. It was not a strong taste. It was the taste of a thing that had been faintly in another thing for so long that the other thing had absorbed it without being told. A few hours later, on the road east, I came across two men sitting under an acacia. I did not approach them. I sat at the edge of the next dry stream bed and took off my sandal as if to shake a stone out of it. A road trick. I overheard them, not a trick, just the wind. Did you see him at the market? Yes. What did he do? Nothing. He stood with us. He watched the brother and sister. He did not preach. He does not always preach. Sometimes he stands. That is strange teaching. It is the kind that makes you remember what you came to the market for instead of what he said. I sat with my sandal in my hand. The water was still in my mouth. I did not look at the men under the acacia. I did not let them see my face. I put my sandal back on. I stood up. I walked east. I walked east the rest of the day and into the next, and the water in my mouth did not leave for 2 full days, and by the third morning I was no longer sure whether the taste had been in the skin or in me. I would learn his name another time. I would learn that his friend had washed the skin the night before with crushed mulberry to take the goat smell out. The miracle was that the taste had stayed. I should have forgotten him. For a while I tried. I worked for a stonecutter named Issac. I worked for a goatherd named Bose who paid me in cheese. I drank other water. None of it tasted like berries. By the third week I had walked back west. I told myself Bose had mentioned work near the lake. I told myself the road east had not led to any town where my face was new enough to start over. But by the time I crossed the dry stream bed where I had sat with my sandal in my hand, I knew I was walking back because of the taste. I had no name to put with the taste.